Hi, a very warm welcome to Dusty Shelf Collectibles. Just arrived today, this Class 66. So this is the commemorative loco for King Charles III's coronation by Hornby. Now when it was announced, it would be indeed a Class 66 in purple livery, named King Charles III, because the 6th of May on there, and God Save the King. And then the final bit of the information was that it would play the National Anthem, God Save the King, as it went round the track. To say this wasn't well received is a bit of an understatement. On the forums, people were very, very critical. One gentleman said, let me just make sure I get this right, monumentally tacky, vulgar and inappropriate, which are quite harsh words indeed for a toy train. A lot of people came to its defence and said, you know, this isn't just for train collectors. This is aimed at all of the market where, you know, you've got people that do collect memorabilia about the royal family. And yeah, for me, I saw this. It made me chuckle. You know, the fact that it's going to play the National Anthem. I think it's quite quirky. I'd like to have quirky things in the collection. I certainly collect all of the Christmas wagons, and I collect the yearly wagons, and I've got some other bits and pieces which, you know, just a little bit obscure, and I thought, yeah, I've got to have one of these. I'm a member of the Collectors Club, so you have to be a member of the Collectors Club to buy this. And I put my pre-order in, and I've been waiting for it to arrive, and as I say, it arrived today. Now, my only criticism of this is the coronation was back in May, and we are now September, and it's just a shame that this wasn't around when the coronation came. It feels, you know, it just feels an afterthought. It's just a shame. But then again, earlier in the year we were treated to the coronation class named Coronation. This was around about the time of the coronation this was released, and I did a review on this. This is one of the best logos I think Hornby have done for the price point. I mean, it's fantastically detailed. It wasn't very expensive, and just the quality of it, I was amazed by this. And yeah, please check out my review on that one. I was really pleased with that. So this brings me on to this one, which I got sort of mixed expectations on this. So a Class 66 is around about £80 to £90, and they don't ever have a lot of detail in them. They could, because of the subject matter. I mean, these are called a shed for a reason. They are literally a box, and it seems a strange subject matter for Hornby to pick as a commemorative loco, until you consider that it does have this slab side that allows the printing of, you know, the commemorative words on there. So in some respects it is an ideal loco because it is like a running billboard. So standard Class 66, I would say probably £80–90, and this one is retailing at £129, and you have to be a member of the Hornby Club to buy it. So you've already spent £30 to have your membership. Now, I did mention before that the membership, obviously you get your quarterly magazine, and you do get other things like you know, free entry into the Margate attraction and things. So there, you know, if you are a Hornby member, you know, you're not just buying it to buy this loco. But £129, that's quite expensive for a Class 66, until you see this little logo in the corner, which is the HM7000 TXS chip inside. Now that makes this a very different loco, because indeed, yes, it's going to play the National Anthem as it goes around the track if you so choose, but it also has all kinds of other sounds that makes this a fully operational loco with a full sound database inside. Now, the loco, as I say, probably £80–90. This chip, £70–80, and suddenly now this doesn't look too bad. So I'm hoping that when we get inside this is going to be quite a nice little loco. I'm not expecting too much detail. I'm expecting it to be very much like one of the railroad range. But I'm hoping once we get into playing with the chip and the sounds, this is going to take on a new lease of life, so I'm quite excited to have a look at this. So let's take this over to the bench, let's have a look inside the box, and then we'll get it running around the track and indeed see what it does. Right, let's start with a look around the box. So as I say, first thing is obviously here, you can see again, just to reiterate, HM7000, which is the app on the phone, and the TXS triplex sound chip that's inside. Limited to 1,000 units. I actually think the box livery is superb, with the Union Jack in the background there and the loco in the middle here. And it says down the bottom here, the coronation of His Majesty the King, Class 66, Coco number 06523, King Charles III. And top of the box, you can see there, top of the loco, and on the bottom here, just some basic information. But on the back here, there's a So obviously a schematic here of the loco. Right, and it says down the bottom here, this special 100-piece limited edition Class 66 model with sound has been produced in celebration of the coronation of His Majesty King Charles III, which occurred on the 6th of May 2023. The imaginatively inspired coronation livery, emphasised with the use of royal purple, was specifically created to encapsulate the uniqueness of such a royal occasion, and with the Union flag emblazoned on each side of the model, all combine to underline the memorable and historical important event. God save the King. And over here there's some information about the Class 66. Now I'll give some of this information in a little bit when we have a look at the model in detail, but let's slide it out and see what we've got inside. Just put the lid to one side. Right, let's lift this out of the box. So standard Hornby packaging in there. That's the loco, and we have a certificate of authenticity. My model is 0115. So again, this special Hornby 1000-piece limited edition Class 66 model has been, well, it's exactly the same words that were on the box. So yeah, God save the King. So that's the certificate in there. We've then got a manual for the Bluetooth and DC sound decoder. And we've got some functions here. So as you can see down here, function 20 is God save the King. Let me just lift that up. But if you now look at all the other sounds on here, we've got engine start, we've got horns, we've got cold start override, compressors, wipers, brake application. So there's a whole range of sounds on this loco, all pre-installed. And then we've got here obviously the service sheet, and then the service sheet, let's just open it up inside. It does give some idea of the detailing. So you do have the vacuum pipes and bits and pieces to mount, and a spare coupling, and also we've got snow plows and things that can be fitted should you wish. Let me just slide these back into here so I don't lose anything. Move that to one side. Right, so first look at the packaging and the loco in there. This is this new style packaging, which I do quite like. I'll come to that bag in a minute, where you pull open one end and then the loco gets presented to you on a sort of bed, if you like, which is quite nice. Let's have a look in the attachment bag first, or the extras bag should I say. So in here we've got, as I say, the two blanking plates. So if you take the coupling off of one end, you've got blanking plates to add onto there if you're going to display it. So just pop those back in here as we go. Two Union Jack flags that I guess you could put on the side should you wish to really accentuate the Union flag on there. We have some separately fitted nameplates there. You can see King Charles III. And as I've already mentioned, the various vacuum pipes and detailing to go on the front and back of the loco. See that there. So onto the loco itself. Now, the cab detailing, I was quite impressed with. You know, okay, we haven't got functioning lights, but it wouldn't take a great deal to put them on there. I do like the window surrounds. They've been nicely finished. And we've got a little bit of a cab inside there. I don't know whether it's coming out on the camera, but there is a little bit of an interior. Nicely printed on the front, the number, which is 06523, obviously the 6th of May 2023, and the same with the number on the side here, 06523. You can see the printing for God Save the King on the side. It's absolutely well executed, along with the Union flag. No sprung buffers on it, not to be expected, but you know, there are some little details on here, like the little light at the top there. And we've got a few features picked out on the side here, like the handrails, and the steps indeed have been picked out in gold, which is quite a nice touch. Now on the roof, not particularly overly detailed, but we do have a separately fitted exhaust mount there, and you can see the moulding is quite nice here. The bogies, I mean, they do feel quite flimsy, you know, but as I say, I do think this is probably a railroad loco. But yeah, generally not too bad looking. I guess this is very similar to what most of the other Class 66s from Hornby have been like. not particularly detailed. It's not the prettiest of locos, and obviously they're, you know, as I said in the introduction, they're called the Shed for a reason. But they are actually ideal when you think about it for, you know, the sort of commemorative loco where you wanted to get the date and some lettering on the side. With the flat side, you know, it does lend itself to that. So yeah, I can understand why this was picked, but it would have been nice to have something, what should we say, what's the word I'm looking for, aesthetically pleasing. But yeah, not too bad at all. Anyway, let's get this over to the track and let's have a play with it. I'm not going to go into too much detail about the Class 66. It's obviously a 6-axle diesel electric freight locomotive built by General Motors Electric Motive Division and sold into the UK and also into Europe. 480 examples came into the UK, and the loco is quite unpopular with a lot of rail enthusiasts because on its arrival with British Rail it was found to be quite reliable, and a lot of the older locos were sort of scrapped in favour of this you know, square box. Right, before we run the loco, I'm just going to weigh it. Let's put it on the scales there. Coming at 407 grams, so it's not a bad weight considering, you know, it's a plastic bodied loco, so not a bad weight at all really. It does feel quite heavy when you put it on the track. Right, so how am I going to do this? Right, so to control the loco, as I say, you download the HM7000 app that I've got here on my phone. Now, getting it to connect to the loco, I had a lot of problems. There was a little bit of a problem with the mapping of the sounds for this particular engine. I got in touch with Hornby this afternoon, and yeah, within the hour somebody had phoned me back and we got it resolved really quickly. Really good service, really pleased with it. Now on the app, if I just move this bar at the top here, you can see that the loco moves forwards. I can then change direction, bring the loco back the other way without changing the speed, and then indeed I can bring it to a stop, and it's all just controlled through here, as I say, all with Bluetooth. Now I've actually got the power to the track running through from my digital controller. This isn't actually controlling the train, I haven't got it set up to do that, it's just purely providing the power to the track, and everything controlled through the app on my phone. So let's get the bit that you've all been waiting for out the way. Number 20, I'll just push the button. And let's just send it around the layout. Okay, so now we've got that out of the way, let's look at the real functions on here. So we've got, as I said, the speed at the top there and the direction, but then down the bottom here we've got 3 pages of functions and sounds. Now if this was fitted with lights, we can turn the lights on and off from here, but the main function with this is obviously the sound. So let's just start the engine. And once that's running, we can now move the loco. Here the air brakes coming off automatically, and then as the loco starts to move, it's synced in with the sound. I'm just going to come back the other way. You can hear the engine note change as it changes direction. Brakes off again. This is all automatic. And now it comes back to us. And I'm going to bring that to a halt. Actually, I'll change direction again. I'll just bring it back into shot. As I say, we've got various different horns that we can play, and we'll just stop that engine. idle down. And then on the second page we've got various other bits and pieces we can play with, such as windscreen wipers. We've got the Spirex valve that you often hear, you know, a diesel when it's sitting there just at the station. Obviously different brake squeals. Closing of the door. So you see there's all these different functions on here that make this into much more of a usable loco than just a train that's going around the track playing the National Anthem. And indeed, you know, if you wanted to change these, you can download different sounds onto here, and indeed if you wanted to, you could get rid of the National Anthem and download the standard Class 66 mapping, which would give you all different types of noises and functions. So there you go, much more than playing the National Anthem, God Save the King. Lots of functions on here, certainly something new to me. I've not had a loco with sound before, so yeah, lots of good fun, I think. Running, it does indicate minimum running radius of 438mm. I'm running, I believe, a little bit less than that, and what you'll hear is as the loco goes around this corner, that's awful noise. I think that's just purely because I'm running it on these really tight radiuses. Decided to run on this track because, as I mentioned earlier, I need to get the power across, and this is the most convenient one to hook up to my DCC controller. And just one final comment, haven't we come a long way? This is how we used to do it in the 80s. So in conclusion, I'm really pleased with this loco. Those people that said it's tacky, vulgar, inappropriate, well, I'm afraid you've missed out. I mean, this is a great loco, and I'm sure it will sell out very, very quickly if it hasn't already done so. The sound system on it is, I'm just blown away with it. I mean, I'm new to the sound, so this is all new to me. I'm blown away with that, and the quality of the loco, the way it runs, it's just really, really well executed. And yeah, Hornby, you've done really well. Thank you very much. And yeah, I shall keep this one running for a little bit. So in conclusion, I'm really pleased with this, and my personal opinion is that Hornby has done really, really well, and this is a really nice item to have. To those people that said it's tacky, vulgar, inappropriate, all the other words, well, you know, I'm afraid you've missed out. This is a great loco to own. It runs beautifully. The sound system, I mean, I am new to the sound, so you know, this is all new to me, but the sound system in it is superb. And yeah, it's got a full sound system in there with all kinds of sound. It brought my layout to absolutely alive. So I'm over the moon with this. Hornby, I think you've done a really good job on this, despite what you know, the sort of speculation was before it was released. Anyway, we'll leave that one there. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.